What is going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about vision boards. I'm going to show you guys how I make my vision boards because I make one, or I try to make one every single year. Last year I sort of made one, but it was just adding on to the one I already had. So I'm going to strip mine off and then redo it and talk about what I tried to envision for 2018 and what happened, what did well and what did not do well, and then how I can move forward and make more progress in 2019. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so 2018 was a good year. I kind of found what I enjoy doing, which is I like running ads for my own companies, and I like building just bettering other companies. So that's why I'm now in the web design space and also in the digital marketing / social media management space. So this is gonna sound like really crazy for what happened towards the end of the year, because I didn't start doing this, doing web development until recently, but here's my vision board that I had. It's actually pretty empty compared to what I now want to have happen for 2019, but basically I have this written right here. You guys can pause the video and read it if you want. It's kind of like something I wrote, speaking in like as if I'm my own goals and dreams. It's kind of just basically saying that it's possible to achieve all of this stuff, but that it's also not possible. Like, it is possible, but you just have to kind of work hard. So yeah, if you guys want to pause the video on that and read it. And then I have, we'll just go from left to right and then go row from row. And then I have a Ferrari F430. This is a yellow one and it has aftermarket rims, but I don't know, I like the color yellow. And at the time I was like, okay, I'll switch to myself. At the time I was like, okay, well it's kind of funny, like my mindset, it was like, okay, well, I don't have enough money I don't think I'll be able to afford a 458 or a 488, so let's just put a cheaper Ferrari. While that's still like a $100,000 car, it was one of those things where I was like, I just want a cool car, and that was when I was in 2017, so it's been a while since I've had that on my vision board. And then the next one is gonna be happiness. So that is one that I put on there just because, I mean, I've operated businesses and I've ran businesses, I've made a lot of money. I've been pretty successful with my businesses, but it's like one of the things is if I'm successful with it, that's awesome, but if I can happily talk about what I do, you know, I was at a Christmas party with my family and people were asking me like, oh, Sebastian, what are you up to right now? And it was kind of fun to, like, I smiled when I explained it just because it was something I was happy doing. Like, it was something that I got excited about when I discussed it. So that's why I like write happiness on there, just because I want to make sure I'm doing stuff that is I enjoy doing it. So yeah, that's why I have that on there. Next we're gonna have GTR. So that has been a dream car of mine. I think the beginning of this year I posted a picture on Instagram with my Volkswagen Jetta and said, oh, by the end of 2018 I'm gonna be trading this car in and buying a GTR. And then I realized, like, I don't know, it's not, I mean, it's just a car, like, I guess, in a sense. That's kind of what I've came to the realization of. Like, yes, they're awesome cars, but it's a lot of money to just put into an asset. And I like buying things in full, so I would not finance the car. I would buy it in cash and just full out own it, because I don't like monthly payments on really anything. So that would be the move for me, but I just didn't see any sort of, not like chance. There was a chance I could, but it was just one of those things where I didn't think I should liquidate that much money, or not liquidate, put all that money into an asset that is in turn sort of a devaluing asset. It's not appreciating in value. So I just didn't find it was something necessary for success, I guess. So I haven't gotten one of those yet, but 2019, that should be the year that I kind of get whatever car I want. I'm not really sure if it's going to be a GTR. I kind of want a nicer one, so that's why we're going to actually go through and build the vision board. But yeah, I'm kind of just giving you an overview of what I already have from my past years and how it kind of went. Actually, I might just do it to where I analyze my vision board for this video, and then I'll make a video on what I do, or how I create a vision board for my next video, and that'll be tomorrow. So yeah, we'll just do that because it's actually taking a ton of time. The next car is going to be a white Lamborghini Aventador. And now this was an orange one, but actually an orange GTR, but I had a dream one day where I was driving and I bought a darker gray GTR, and I still remember this dream because it's like stuff sticks with me like this. And I remember picking up my little brother, and then we went like shopping and drove around in the car, and it was just awesome. So I think if I end up getting one next year, which I don't know if that's going to be the car I want or if it's something more exclusive and more extravagant, I'm not sure. But if I do, it definitely will be a darker gray color. So that's kind of what I am going for if I do end up getting it. Because it'll be cool to put the dream into a reality. I love that type of stuff. It makes me satisfied when I see dreams become a reality. Literally, like I dreamt about that and when I was sleeping. So I don't know, that'd be cool. But moving on. We have a white Aventador. This is, it's a pretty sweet car. I mean, I like Lamborghinis. I'm not one to like smooth riding cars. Like, yes, they're nice, but I like getting kicked back and when I downshift, getting thrown around. Like, I don't know why. It is a fun experience. Like, my M3 is not the smoothest driving car, but it does kind of throw me around when I downshift and get on it. Like, it's not smooth, and I don't know why I enjoy that. So I know M3 is literally nothing compared to an Aventador, but I'm sure it would be a fun driving car. But I actually have heard that it's not enjoyable, and I have a buddy who actually has a Huracan Performante, so if I wanted a Lambo, I might get a Huracan Performante instead. Not saying I'm getting one, I'm just saying if I do want a Lambo, that's probably what I would want. And then we have a picture of Tai Lopez. Now, why do I have a picture? He's a very controversial person. Some people do not like him. Some people think he's a scam. Some people think he just tries to sell kids courses and stuff, and that's what he makes all his money on. For me, I don't even care about that aspect of things. I bought his 67 Steps program, and I'm not going to say it made me a millionaire, because it didn't, but it opened up my brain, and it was all information that I could have found online, but it just was a solid compilation of tons of knowledge on the internet that he sort of just compiled together and put into a course, which is awesome. I think it was just a mind-opening experience and course. Also, he posted on his story one of these people who was making money, and I ended up reaching out to him, and he became one of my mentors, so that's kind of sweet. I like just thinking of him as a stepping stone to my success, not even in the aspect of, oh yeah, he sells a ton of courses, that's how I want to be, because I don't really have any courses that I push right now at all. I'm not really selling any courses, so I'm not actually looking at that aspect. I just have him on there because he was really, I guess, he bettered my year, in a sense, in a like not so like it was kind of like a low-key sense, just because he kind of changed the whole gears in my head. Because before I found that mentor, I was doing nothing. Like, literally, I got kicked out of high school, and I was going to a continuation school, and it was just bad for me. And then I ended up coming across him, and then he introduced me to my mentor, and then from there I just became a business. That was like all I was doing, and it was an awesome experience, and I'm glad that that happened to me. So that's why I have him on my vision board. But moving on, I have winners are not people who never fail, but people who never quit. So I have that on my board from last year. That was just because, you know, I have had a decent amount of success, a small success with my businesses, but I've also given up on a few businesses. And I think, you know, one of the things that I constantly think about is, okay, if I'm gonna start a business, someone else has probably made it work. And if I, you know, in my head, if someone else makes it work, I know that I can 100% make it work. I just can't quit, because if I quit, then that's the, you know, you can always guarantee that you won't become successful if you do give up. If you give up, you will not become successful. If you never give up, you may become successful. You have a better opportunity and better chance to become successful if you don't quit with anything. And successful people, and as myself, you know, I'm not saying I'm super successful, but I do decent in life financially. I find that businesses that I start, normally they don't work in the beginning, and I have to sort of change them and modernize them and switch things up and transition and pivot immensely sometimes. And when it happens for the better, and it's awesome, because once I change the business up, it normally takes off exponentially. And it's just kind of inspirational that I know if I keep going with something, normally it will work. So that's kind of where why I have that laid out on my vision board, just because I know that successful people aren't people who win every single time. They probably launched successful people have probably launched plenty of companies that have went underwater and just completely bankrupt, or not even bankrupt, but have just lost money and stuff, and they just kept going with their overall goals. So that's kind of why I throw that on there every single year. Okay, we're gonna move on to this quote. I have a lot of quotes on here, or not only a few. This one is, "Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune," by Jim Rohn. Now, I have that because, you know, I wouldn't say I dropped out of college, but you can kind of say that because I was enrolled in a college, a community college locally, and then I was traveling to Mexico with a few buddies, and while we were in Mexico, I forgot to pay for my classes for college, and what ended up happening was my classes dropped. So I mean, technically a college dropout, but I just never even started college. I never went to any day of college, and I've been doing really well for myself as far as finances go. So, you know, I've understood that even though I have not had any form of formal education past high school, I've been able to make it work so far. You know, bought my own car, paid insurance, moved out for a bit, and I now get to kind of do what I want, traveled across the country by myself, which is cool. And I'm not listening to stuff to flex, I'm just listening this to explain like it's possible to self-educate yourself, to learn how to kind of make the amount of money you want so that you can live the life you want. So that's what kind of stuck with me with that quote. So that's why I leave it on there, just because I understand that college is not going to get me to become a millionaire. I mean, maybe if I want to become a doctor, but that's not what I want to do. You know, I like working from home. I like being able to wake up at 9 or 10 if I want to, and getting stuff done till midnight if I want to, or not working at all if I want to. It's kind of like on my own terms. So that's kind of what I enjoy. But yeah, that's kind of why I threw that quote on there. So the next thing I want to show is my goals for 2018 financially. I wanted to make 100 grand, and these were my goals. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna show you. So I wanted to write a book about young businessmen / entrepreneurs. I think I wanted to like give advice to young people. Let me have this focus on myself. And then number 2 was e-commerce in phones and electronics. So I wanted to resell enough phones and electronics to make accumulate up to be making a big amount of the 100 grand total, because there were multiple streams of income. Real estate investing / wholesaling, I wanted to do that as well. Flip cars for profit, I also wanted to do that. This is fun to like list out, just because I know how much my 2018, I know how much I made, and I know how I made my money, and it was for the most part none of this. Manage businesses' social media accounts. This is where it gets interesting. Design websites for companies and use SEO. That's where it got interesting, those 2 last ones, because like it was crazy. I wanted to do those businesses so bad. I just didn't know where to start. Number 1, I didn't know where to get clients, and I didn't know much of that. And it wasn't until I found a mentor and bought a course. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't until I sort of stumbled upon clients, kind of in a sense, like clients came to me, where I figured out how to run this business and how to make money with developing websites and managing people's social media and running doing digital marketing for those companies. It wasn't until I figured out how to compile all that together into a business where I started to make a lot of money. And that's kind of interesting. Like 100 grand was my goal. I cleared like over $10,000 in a week, and if I do a 10 grand every single week, that's over $500,000. That's more than 100 grand a year. So that was kind of interesting to see happen. Just kind of eye-opening experience where I understood like how much money I can make with this business. So that's why I'm super pumped for 2019. It's gonna be nuts. So you know, that's what I wanted to do. I mean, I thought I could make a lot of money writing a book. Writing a book is not something I want to do anymore. I thought I could make a lot of money reselling iPhones and electronics. I do not spend any of my time doing reselling or anything. I don't resell anything anymore. Real estate investing, I don't invest in real estate, or wholesaling, I don't do any of that. I don't find time to do it, and it doesn't seem like it's something that's interesting. Although I'm gonna take that back. Real estate investing seems interesting to me, like buying, you know, commercial real estate. That seems interesting to me when I'm maybe 30 or something along those lines. But until then, I want to just build up a huge cash pile right now. Like that's kind of all my goal is. Flipping cars for profit. That's sort of, I'm still interested in that. So when I buy my cars, I buy them at a low price so that I can resell them and sort of recoup all of my money for it. So if you finance a car most of the time and you go through a dealer, most of the time they are either charging you the market value or above market value. And what happens is when you buy it and then in a year if you want to sell it, most of the times you lose money on it, and it's because you're paying interest and you are paying a high sticker price. So for me, I like buying privately because you get to, first, it's an easy transaction. Like literally, I meet the people, test drive the car. If I like the car, I buy it. I get to pay cash, so I don't have to pay monthly payments. And then what else? It's not a long transaction. Like literally it's just, okay, here's the money, sign the title over, we're good to go. With when you're buying from a dealer, there's a ton of stuff that you have to do. Like there's tons of paperwork that you have to do when buying a car, so that's why I'm not a fan of that. I've seen my parents finance cars and stuff, and it's just, I don't like the thought of financing a car and owning something that I can't afford necessarily, just because I like buying things in cash. It's just, it makes me feel like a better, I don't know, I don't really know. It just, I enjoy it a lot just because I'm able to, one, own the car in full, so I don't have to spend money monthly. That's kind of it. I don't like to spend money monthly. So yeah, that's kind of what I still do, and that's still going to be something I pursue even when I get into higher end cars. If I want to buy a 458 next year, or a GTR, I'm not going to be financing one from a fancy dealer. No, I'm going to be looking for a third party, or not even a third party, private party individual who wants to just sell his car and who owns it in full, even if he's financing it, who can get the title from the bank and stuff like that. So that's where I'm kind of moving into. I mean, I still do want to sell cars for profit and flip them, but it's not like one of those things where I'm going to be doing super aggressively, unless I can get my cash flow to a few $1,000s a day. I'll be able to do it pretty aggressively, but until then, it's just gonna be, you know, maybe once a year, 2 cars a year, just here and there, just so I can enjoy fast cars, because I enjoy driving fast. And I don't know, accelerating fast and having loud cars, but just so I can kind of do that and be able to not lose money on buying luxury cars. So yeah, that's kind of, oh, actually we also have a house right here. I actually don't know exactly where this house is. I just love modern looking houses like that. So that was one of the things that I envisioned in my future. I didn't think I was gonna buy that house by like the 2018. I just wanted to keep it on there just because I wanted to understand what sort of house I wanted in the future, so that's why I have that there. And then I also have on here Cadillac CTS-V. I actually wrote in my great handwriting, March 15th, 2018. My goal was to buy one of those by my 18th birthday, and yeah, that was my goal, and I ended up not doing it. And there's, well, first off, I bought a car before that, so I bought a BMW M3. I'll throw a picture up right there. I bought that car before that, so that was kind of cool to do. Like, I owned my first car before, I think it was before I was even 18. So that was sweet, but also, I don't know, I didn't want to have $40,000 in a car yet, just because I couldn't really afford that. So, like, if I'm being honest, so that was just not something I wanted to do. But also, I don't know, I feel like the car is cool, but I wanted a newer car, so that's kind of why. But I bought an older BMW, so I don't even know. I just, yeah, I kind of didn't like the car anymore. Like, I now look at it and it's like whatever. I like more, I don't know, cooler looking cars in a sense, so that's why I also didn't, that was one of the reasons why, but also I realized that I like having money in the bank more than having money in assets that are a car or something. So I mean, obviously I have a few grand or thousands of dollars in my BMW, but that's like money that's kind of just whatever. Like, I don't really have to sell it ever, just because it's not money I'm freaking out about. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, I need to get, you know, $10,000 for this car ASAP because I need the cash. Like, no, I'm very stable. I don't need to rush anything. If I want to sell it, sure, I'll post it, and if it sits for a few months, that's fine. But if I don't sell it, I'm really not going to be upset about it. So yeah, that's kind of it's kind of going to explain what's been on my vision board for the past, I think this is actually 2 years, because I have one page dated January 8th, 2017. So now I'm going to be ripping all of this off and putting on new stuff for my future. So if you guys want to see that video, look forward to it. It's going to be recorded today, but uploaded tomorrow. So this is going to be my video for the 27th of December, 2018. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in that video. Subscribe if you're new, because you don't want to miss it. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to kind of help you guys plan out your year as well. I think vision boards are a huge part of success and visualizing what you want in life, getting a clear picture of what you want so that you can directly attack your goals. I think that's huge. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.